Hey guys, it's great to have you back with us. This time around, we're hosting Swell. We're going to be talking about DAOs. We're going to be talking about proposals. We're going to be talking about what Swell are doing in general. It's going to be very interesting. Today with us from Swell, we have Daniel and Lecky. In a second, obviously, they'll say a few more words and introduce themselves. We have Adam with us as per usual, and we will be asking some questions from the community and questions from us for Swell. So Daniel, without further ado, take it away.
Yeah, sure. I'll briefly introduce myself and I'll pass to Lecky as well to introduce himself. And then we'll get into a quick high-level presentation about Swell Network, what we're looking to do and what we're looking to deliver to the market, and really touch upon the sort of value add that we want to bring to the SSV community. So by way of introduction, my name is Daniel Dizon. I'm the co-founder and CEO for Swell Network. My background's been a mix of finance, technology, and innovation. And Swell Network in particular, what we're looking to do is looking to deliver the best-in-class solution for ETH staking. And that is a solution that is permissionless, non-custodial, and liquid as well. I'll pause there. I'll let Lecky introduce himself too. Lecky?
Yeah, sure. Hi guys. Nice to be on the stage. My name is Lecky Lau, the CTO and co-founder for Swell Network. Personally, myself have been doing software engineer for more than 10 years, has been traditional IT company like IBM, Telstra, Fujitsu, and also being a serial entrepreneur since 2016, and has been working for multiple DeFi devs like InstaDev, DHedge, and Synthetics. For Swell has been started early 2020. That as a side project that trying to bring some first innovation to the market. And then we have been iterate a few iteration, and then finally we want to push out to push out to the market and scale up to the further level. And as the 2020 is the year of the merge, and we want to, and currently the merge is aiming like mid-June, so we were looking to push everything beforehand. Like we're aiming like beta testing on the testnet and the mainnet launch like really soon. So stay tuned, and we will have more documentation, more demo, and everything more out. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Thank you so much.
Hectic period for you guys. I mean, with the recent announcements of raising money and everything going on, I bet you guys have a lot to share.
Yeah, definitely.
Congrats, by the way, Daniel. I forgot to mention.
Thank you. No, it's been great. We've been very sort of fortunate to have partnered with some of the best and brightest minds across decentralized finance and Ethereum more broadly. And I think it really is a testament to the sort of innovation that Swell will be very soon delivering to the market as we look to launch ahead of the merge slated for mid-2022. So if it's all right, I'd like to get into the presentation.
By all means, absolutely.
Great. And just wanted to, again, quickly thank SSV Network, the core team, and also the community. We've tried to shape this presentation in light of the sort of feedback we've been getting from our initial proposal. So Swell Network, delivering the next generation of e-staking. So Swell Network is really the next generation of staking. So we term the existing solution space as being staking 1.0. So what is Swell Network doing? We're going to be delivering a staking protocol that is permissionless, non-custodial, and liquid. In a nutshell, as has been announced and has been intimated at the start of the call, we've been supported by industry-leading backers such as Framework Ventures, Apollo Capital, IOSG Ventures, Maven 11, etc., and a whole host of amazing DeFi angels and founders as well, including Mark Cuban, Kane Warwick, Fernando from Balancer. There's a lot there to name. So what we're doing is we've actually developed a very unique and compelling value proposition that we think is going to be extremely valuable for e-stakers, node operators, and the ecosystem at large. We already have several first-to-market innovations underway and that have actually been delivered as well, but we'll touch on that perhaps like later in the presentation. We've already completed our smart contracts for Swell v2. Swell v2 is, for us, will be the scalable liquid e-staking protocol that we think will provide that value to stakers, node operators, in the ecosystem. We do have our beta testing planned in about a fortnight's time. So that's April at the time of this call, and that will be on the POS Kiln testnet. And then we want to launch in advance of the merge. For us, and what's perhaps pertinent to your community is that SSV and DVT has been planned in the product roadmap since day one. And when we saw the sort of development that your team was doing and the community and the sort of traction you've been getting, it made sense for us to really tightly couple our planning with you guys. So just at a high level, what is Swell Network looking to solve? And the main sort of three issues that we're looking at here is the well-noted risks of centralization, the high levels of concentration across both centralized and semi-centralized actors. The second point there is around the staker experience. It's still fairly complex for stakers to be able to generate yield from their ETH staking tokens, noting that we are a liquid staking token. All the existing solutions out there require the user to go ahead and try to find the best way to earn risk-adjusted returns on their staked ETH. And then the other third point there is about the market. There is a genuine lack of competing options for ETH holders to diversify their stake. And on top of that, there's also a lack of choice for node operators as well. A cursory look at these three factors here, you'll sort of see similar issues that both SSV and also Swell are solving, particularly around centralization, which we'll touch on a bit later in the presentation. So what is Swell doing to solve this? So this is primarily on the staker side. We're bringing in a whole ton of innovation to the staker experience. So with Swell, you'll be able to stake your ETH in a liquid manner. So you'll be able to earn staking rewards and earn the benefit of participating DeFi. We'll be the first to be able to take that liquid ETH, so it's a Swell ETH or SWEETH, and then containerize that within a financial NFT. Now that financial NFT will mark your position within the validators, and then you'll be able to take that ETH and go ahead and compound that across Swell vaults. So that's not too dissimilar from a Euro finance type experience. And the beauty of this, it's all self-contained within one app. So it's a single place for you to stake, set, and forget, essentially. And their sort of power there is around that really maximizing that DeFi composability. And behind all this, we'd like to leverage the SSV technology to be able to effectively reduce risk of slashing and penalties, and really provide the safest possible experience for our stakers. At a high level, obviously these numbers are variable and will change depending on supply and demand and what happens post-merge. But essentially, at the headline staking rate, we'll be able to offer 5%. Once we enable vaults, we'll be able to earn an additional 1 to 2% on top of that. And then post-merge, with MBV flowing through, we'll be able to offer higher returns. Again, these are sort of high-level indicative figures at this stage, but this is what we're aiming to achieve for our users, all in the same staking experience. So going back to the core concept I mentioned earlier around staking 2.0, what are we doing? So we have various sort of aspects of the entire e-staking environment which we're targeting. So for stakers, it's unlock liquidity, higher yield, choice of node operator, which is the first to market, a bunch of others there. For the node operators, we are intending to reduce the financial hurdle down to 1 ETH. We've already demonstrated that within our proof of concept. For Swell v2, however, we'll be putting in place a 16 ETH requirement from the node operators. But with SSV, with essentially that risk to slashing and penalties being reduced further, we'll be able to use that as an enabling factor to help reduce that financial hurdle even further. We'll be doing also offering a white label protocol for our node operators as well, and there's a whole host of other things there on screen too. The other important things to perhaps call out is that Swell is first to market for a couple things, and this really reflects the sort of bleeding edge research and development that our team is really focusing on. We're, according to our own internal research, we're the first to be able to enable node operator validator contribution to as little as 1 ETH. We're the first to do an atomic deposit contract to enable user-directed deposits. And what does that mean? That just basically enables greater on-chain transparency and enables us to do non-custodial staking in a really unique way. And we're also, according to our internal research, the first to be able to containerize that liquid staking driven token within a financial NFT that unlocks a whole host of other capabilities. So what does this all mean for the SSV community? Well, it enables the SSV community to be able to partner with a staking protocol that's really trying to push the frontiers of staking. We're trying to shape the boundary of what e-staking will look like and do it in a way that's true to the Ethereum ecosystem and leveraging really unique technology that we haven't seen yet before. So the atomic deposit contract, the staking derivative financial NFT, our vaults, our push to reduce the financial hurdle to enable more and more stakers and more node operators to be able to participate in consensus and to enable something that's truly permissionless. And that permissionless aspect is something that's really important to us. And overall, you'll see that SSV and DVT will serve as an enabling infrastructure for this sort of innovation, which is just really the start of what Swell's looking to deliver to the market. The other thing as well, which is different to the other liquid staking protocols proposals out there, is that Swell is differentiated in the fact that we're going to enable the node operators to set their own commissions. There's a lot of overlap between our sort of stakeholders on the node operator side. We're a protocol, we're not a node operator. As our core business, we're a protocol. We're also intending to be the first Ethereum staking protocol to enable stakers to have choice about who their node operators will be. And we're also intending to be the first Ethereum staking protocol to enable a real white label solution, so that node operators can just literally put up a front end and use our protocol in the back, and then ideally have the SSV infrastructure behind that as well. So really bringing abstracting away that sort of complexity, enable more people to spin up node operator businesses, etc. So with all this said, there was a lot there. There is a lot that's happening at Swell at the moment, but really, I think this slide really articulates it in a nutshell. So Swell Network DAO is a permissionless, non-custodial, and liquid e-staking protocol. When you combine that with a secure, open source e-staking infrastructure like SSV DAO, what do you get? You get greater security, you get more decentralization, you get lower risk for all actors in the ecosystem, you get better returns, with that lower risk that follows, improved composability, and really unlocked value. So again, thank you for the opportunity to showcase what we've been doing to date. We look forward to continuing to work with your community to bring more value to both the protocol infrastructure layer.
That was a great presentation. Thanks. Oh, okay, great. By the way, it's always helpful when we can see the presentation. Usually it answers a lot of questions. We've collected a few questions coming in, and obviously for the community watching, the proposal will be adjusted accordingly, and everything will be available for you guys to see directly on the forum. So Daniel will make sure to update you guys directly on Discord.
Can we dive into the presentation a bit before going to the community questions?
Absolutely.
So I have a few questions. First of all, this is fascinating. Just as a side story, the way we were introduced to the Swell team is basically through a fund, which I think you guys were in touch with, and they contacted us, me, and told me, listen, there's a team that says that that are raising funds, and their way of implementing their technology is by basing it on SSV, which was, a complete surprise to me. It was really, really cool and interesting to hear that there's an actual team that is so forward-looking and already found SSV in its early stages and basically decided to develop their technology from the get-go on what we think will be the future of ETH staking. So this is sort of just a background story about how we met. And I think, in terms of, it goes to show your perception of the technology and understanding of the sort of the different flavor of staking and who is out there and what kind of technologies you should base your product on. So I really appreciate that and that foresight and that sort of insight into the technology and the industry as a whole. I'm super curious to hear about that NFT part, which is something I've never heard of before. So how does that work, and what is that? Why are you structuring, your strategy or your product this way?
Sure, that's a great question. It's really a sort of a testament to Lecky's technical expertise. And Lecky, did you want to sort of touch on the benefits of the NFT and even touch on our EIP 4626 vault standard as well? I think that's quite interesting as well.
Before you dive into explain, I just want to understand one thing. So I'm staking my ETH, then I receive a staking token or a liquidity token, and then I can swap that token to an NFT, right? That's
so basically, yes and no. So when you stake your, say, 5 Ether, and then what you get is 2 things. One is a Swell NFT, and then underneath it manage the 5 Swell ETH. Inside the NFT is similar, and it is inspired by the Uniswap V3 NFT position. That is a similar concept that the NFT and underneath is a base token, and then that base token is the Swell Ether. And then the benefit, the beauty of the Swell NFT is it has all the reward. Like there's it has the consensus layer 5% reward on the NFT, and it has the DeFi U reward, and it also have the post-merge execution layer reward, and all the reward it calculate when you withdraw. So and then it would calculate everything on the NFT on stake, and then calculate all the reward, and then take out the commission, and then you get your reward. And that's really straightforward. And the beauty is it calculates the reward at when you on stake, so that it's it has a really low cost to stay. It's around $100. So which is for in comparison, like the other protocol will be like 10 times less. And the only cost will be more is on your on stake. Yes, that's because it's more calculation, but there's a reward there. So you would calculate that when it will only on stake that when the reward can cover the calculation cost. So that is so that's still okay. And then with the NFT, you can opt into the vault, which is the EIP 4626 vault. It's similar to the YN strategy that we can have multiple vault, and the DAO community can propose a different strategy. And then that's optional. That's an optional vault because there's a potential risk, but you could opt into that, which is a better user experience that people don't need to like having there's a derivative token and then you have to go do something else for it. We will do everything for the user so that it has a one-stop shop basically. Yeah.
So just for me to understand, let's say I stake 1 ETH, I get 1 SW ETH that represents my staked ETH, and then I also get an NFT, right? And then NFT basically represents my share of the reward. So every rewards that are allocated to my staked ETH will flow to the NFT, right? To the address associated with the NFT. Am I correct?
The NFT, yes, similar. The NFT is a representation of your staking on the beacon chain. It is a position that marking like, it's a full transparency that is marking like your 1 ETH deposit into which validator. It's down to a really low level of full on-chain transparency. Like all the other protocol is using a deposit pool. So you lost the connection that you deposit to, you don't know where the money goes and you don't know the validator where the money comes from. But for us, it's full transparency. You know where your money deposit into which validator so that you can see the performance of that validator, how it goes, does it get slashing, what's the performance, does it exceed the lender, everything. So full transparency, non-custodial of all everything. So that's why the beauty of NFT is your position, your staking position, your representation of your beacon chain staking. And then it's also a position that we can do many things on it, like the strategy, and then the unstake, the liquid staking, and everything, and the extra reward. We can have multiple reward. All the reward is calculation on the NFT. and we can have 1 reward, 2 reward, 3 reward, or 10 reward. That doesn't matter. You can have multiple reward, and all managed by the NFT position. Yeah.
So the NFT basically allows the staker to have a more granular sort of overview over their position in the network and which, let's say, operators their ETH is associated with, how well that specific stake is performing, and so on and so forth. So this is basically the idea behind that.
Yeah, and that's
when
your
you sell
position.
the stake, what happens when you sell the stake to ETH or the SW ETH back to ETH? What happens with the NFT?
So there's a two way you can exit, because it's a liquid staking. So but if you want to exit with the reward that's on stake, which will burn the NFT and then calculate the beacon chain reward, and then it will mint the Swell ETH. So the reward is minting the Swell ETH according to the calculation, and then when the withdrawal available, then we can take the ETH out from the withdrawal. Basically, we withdraw like early and like minting the Swell ETH, but the reward is still on the beacon validator that we can still withdraw later. Yeah.
Got it.
So you essentially let the validator stay, quote unquote, alive a little while longer, while you let the user exit on his own accord, by giving him, just correct me if I'm wrong, by granting him a little more SW ETH to his original address, meaning you burn the NFT and reward him for the amount that he generated during the time staking with Swell?
Exactly. So the calculation is based on the start time and the end time, and then the difference of the reward, and then divided by your portion on the staking, and that's the reward you can get when you unstake. And then we will burn your NFT, which is the representation of your staking position in the beacon chain, and then we can mint the Swell ETH for you so that you can exit through the LP, and then later on we can still withdraw the ETH when the withdrawal are available. Yeah.
I'm wondering how the prices compare in your situation with minting, burning NFTs compared to what you can, I don't know, layer 2 solution or anything else out there that people are using at the moment. How does it compare?
So what do you mean by comparing with the
I don't think it's so super related, like
no, of course, what I'm saying is how, from the user side, the costs of generating or exiting or entering an NFT could be, again, I haven't heard of a solution like this before, but I'm wondering, how does that compare to other DeFi protocols not using NFT as the base solution or the protocol?
Sure, we because it's layer 1. It's expensive. Like everyone knows that it's cost. So we take the cost like calculation really cautious, that the staking side would be really low. We're targeting around 100 should be able to stay and then mint the NFT and as well ETH. And the heavy side is only when you unstake, which the reward should be able to cover it. And if it doesn't cover, you just unstake it later when you accumulate more reward. So that should be it. And then and with the NFT, it helps you to go to the vault to have extra DeFi yield, which will help you like save the cost that you having the derivative token and then do the yield farming by yourself. Like if you go to Curve, you have to do everything by yourself, like approve and say you jump to the pool and then like staking and like extra. But with the WoW, we can have basically a better experience that the user will still stay in the same app, and then they will be able to just opt into the vault, and then the vault is like a asset management pool that we manage the position for the user. Basically, so the vault is like they just transfer the Swell Ether to the vault, and that's it. And then it's the same token return as well. We calculate the reward when they want to exit the vault. We calculate the reward, and then we swap everything back to Swell ETH and then transfer it back to the NFT. So you have like you put 5 Swell ETH into the vault, and you get like 5 point something Swell ETH back. So it's more better user experience, and it will save costs in that way for even layer 1. Yeah.
Really interesting idea. I never heard of anything like it right now in the staking space. So that's super cool. Is there anyone that's doing anything like this?
No, we have many first into market innovation like this, the NFT side, the automatic transaction that's the user is a direct depositor. So everyone else is the depositor is the staker, and that's why when you look at the market, you can see the depositor, it grouped by the depositor, and that's why we call us as the next generation is we are not the depositor on the protocol side. User is a direct depositor because it's automatic transaction, so that that chart doesn't work anymore. Like group by deposit address doesn't work for us. Like we are not direct depositor. It's the user. It's more decentralized and more transparency and more non-custodial. The fund goes to the deposit address. Like the protocol holds nothing. So it's truly non-custodial, and it's less risk as well. Like yeah. So there's many innovation there. Yeah.
That's really interesting. The atomic swaps part is something that I'll need to read a bit more into. Do you have any documentation out there, more information people can check your technology more in depth? Probably going to have a testnet very soon for people to see. So can you maybe share a bit more information about that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the part that we're still lacking of. We're just getting more resources, like a head of product, to actually help out to explain our heavy technology innovation to the general public. So, yeah, the testnet, like in the fortnight, hopefully people can start to test out and to understand more from there. But yeah, we're slowly to rolling out more docs and more videos and documentations and demos, and to help out for people to understand it. Yeah, but thank you for inviting. I think this video also could help out for more understanding as well. Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. I think you've already answered most of the questions that I listed here, so it's great that we started with the questioning of the presentation. I mean, most of the questions were about what the hell does an NFT have to do with anything. So I can say about myself as well. Originally, when you see an NFT, you think to yourself, oh, this is just a way, it's a buzzword. But being able to take the NFT, the actual base protocol, and use it for something that can promote transparency in a space that lacks that kind of transparency, you not being able to see who deposited where and whether it was a one-to-one deposit and whether it was withdrawn or not, or if it's active or not. So I think that it's a great addition, or a great example of how you can use NFT in an original way. What the community really wants to know, and I'll address this question to Daniel, is first of all, how exactly or where the component of SSV/DVT fits in all of this very detailed plan with a lot of different different tech stacks on top of it. So they want to know exactly where this Lego piece of DVT fits in, and if there's anything else or what you would need from the SSV community to get to that point? So it's sort of a double-ended question.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. So for us, it's probably worth noting that from day one of our product roadmap, we've wanted to integrate SSV and / DVT. For us, it's about internally. Swell is really focusing in on the bringing a best-in-class staking experience and being able to help node operators be able to provide the technical infrastructure in a really sort of a seamless and strategic way. For us, we see the SSV piece as being really critical, really at the infrastructure / foundation level, around sort of improving the redundancy, improving the resiliency, improving the risk profile of Swell Network itself. So we see ourselves as building on top of SSV, and we wanted to do that as soon as we're ready, as soon as you're ready. And so that's why we wanted to have this sort of tightly coupled conversation happening, and having this dialogue where we can participate in each other's test nets, etc., be aware of developments, see how we can both help each other. And at the same time, the sort of stakeholders at play are quite similar. We're a protocol, you're an infrastructure, and ultimately it's great for the broader Ethereum ecosystem as well. In terms of what we would like from the SSV community, I think they've already done a great job in providing really valuable feedback and direction on how we can improve our proposals. So just the more of that would be great. And if there's any ideas or sort of innovations that you think that we can implement at the protocol layer, then we're always happy to explore.
Great.
So one of the things you mentioned in the presentation is that users will be able to choose their own operators, which is also something pretty new in the staking space. Is this something that you'll base SSV on? I mean, will you use SSV in order to use different nodes in the SSV network, or how exactly that work?
Well, I think definitely it's something that we can explore in terms of being able to help categorize node operators so that users can make informed selections. Arguably, the node operators that are on SSV will have an improved sort of risk return profile. So these are the sort of things that we can definitely leverage in the user experience to enable people to make informed decisions. The node operator selection, you're quite right in the sense that we are, at least in terms of our internal research, the first to deliver that sort of optionality and freedom of choice for users. So it's something that we would also like to have some feedback on from your community as well. That'd be really great. Like, any further comments on the node operator selection part?
Yeah, node operator selection is a really beauty solution to resolve the MEV reward. So as we know, the MEV reward is control, like out of our control, is back to the control of the node operator, that they can choose to give you out or not. But if we give back the choice of selecting the node operator back to the staker, then they will select the node operator that give the MEV back. So if the node operator not giving the MEV, people will not choose them. So that's one of the way that we can see that would help solve to distribute the MEV reward. And also we bringing back the people on other POS chain. They familiar with choose and change between node operator and because they have different fee, and that's why we want to bring it back for the people that are already familiar with and then, for example, the Swell Network charge a protocol 5%, and then the node operator can basically charge from 0% to 5%, so that it encouraged the small player of the node operator. They could start with 0%, so that the staker could choose them because they have less fee. And then the big player would charge 3%, and because they have a higher security, and they probably verify the node operator. So that's bring back the healthy competition on the node operator side. That people already familiar with other POS chain, so they will be more comfortable in that healthy competition way.
Interesting. I think there are a lot of projects that are promoting transparency right now in the world of staking. I mean, for the past year and a half, staking has been, more about returns. But I think, with the industry becoming more mature and there are more choices out there, people will be able to optimize for cost, will be able to optimize for client diversity, for MEV. That's an inevitability in the space. So it's good that you are thinking about these things well ahead of the rest of the companies out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, not only that, what I like is that throughout this whole crazy innovative idea using different bits of blockchain technologies from different eras, the user interface or the ease of use is still the first most paramount thing for you guys. So I think that from our perspective, at least from my own perspective, we know that the biggest challenge, or one of the biggest challenges, is how difficult it is to innovate on top of something so new. So being able to see innovation and bridging in the DeFi ease of use is definitely great to see. I do have one last question from the community, and that's about the roadmap. So Dan, if you could share a few words about, there's a lot of things going on with Swell right now, a lot of different, collaborations, different partnerships going on. So the community is really interested to know how you guys can manage your timeline and how it would look like in terms of integrating with SSV.
Yeah, definitely. So, we're currently developing and looking to ship Swell v2. So Swell v2 will have the liquid staking piece. It will have the financial NFT piece. And then as part of the next iteration of Swell v2, the next increment up from there will be the Swell vaults. And then so we'll be launching a really concentrated ecosystem strategy there to enable that composability. Where SSV really comes to the fore is in Swell v3. So we're looking to implement that in the second half of the year. Obviously, we want to maintain quite a close connection with SSV Network and the wider community. So that will take us through to the rest of calendar year 2022. Into calendar year 2023, we'll be looking to move cross-chain and provide the sort of similar innovation to other proof-of-stake blockchains. Lecky, any other further comments on the roadmap, Lecky?
Yeah, but like we said, we would have that SSV integration planned on day one, because we already can do one EVA for no operator, but we can't just roll it out, because without SSV protection, the third party no operator can just stop and not doing the testing, and then it will harm the staker. So we can only enable that one EVA with the SSV integration. That's why we'll be targeting on day one, and it will be just like as soon as possible that we can integrate with it. And yeah, we are really aggressive on our development. So yeah, it should be like one month after another month, and then hopefully we can roll it out very soon. And then ideally is like everybody one EVA, and then 32 people. We can spin up a validator. Yeah.
In the future, you're planning on adding more, lowering the bar and adding more stakers in one. Okay, great.
Exactly.
All right, awesome. There are no more questions from the community. Adam, if you have any last questions or remarks.
I have a final, very small question, which I don't think I ever asked you guys. How did you hear about SSV in the beginning? I mean, how did you get to know us?
On my side, we've been closely following the Ethereum research, and we saw that the SSV/DBT was initially sort of proposed out of the Ethereum Foundation itself, and then we saw that Blocks was took that and ran with it as part of the working group, and then started to develop and deliver that. So that's the original genesis for us. And then always thinking about, okay, well, where is Ethereum staking going? What does a winning design solution look like? It's going to be probably something that's permissionless, probably something that's non-custodial, probably something liquid, and probably something that leverages a sort of risk mitigation infrastructure layer such as SSV. And so that's how we originally, at least I originally came across it. Lecky, on your side.
Yeah, we have when we started like early 2020, we have this concept and like, and we have the same issue, like how can we enable the one Ether for the third party operator, but still can protect them like that. And then we keep researching until like last year, I got into the SSV with the distributed validator tag that can help with that. So that's definitely how it's a perfect fit for us to reduce the barrier. And there's also other problem that I see that SSV can potentially solve as well, is the validator hostage. That if you only one node operator, they could hostage the withdrawal and all the hostage from there, and only the distributed validator, then we could do something like a voting, and then we can have the consensus to solve the hostage of the third party, like a malicious third party hostage. Then like one malicious, as long as other three is the healthy one, then we can solve like lots of hostage and problem on the third party. So that's really helping the staking service. So that's what we want and plan now on day one. And yeah.
Interesting. We recently had a conversation with one of the players in the staking space, and they mentioned that one of their biggest fears is, you know, the hostage situation you just mentioned. Yeah, so it's a pretty impressive foresight right there. All right,
Yeah,
take it away.
we have the same direction on the same boat.
Yeah, it's like a checklist of all the problems with staking on Ethereum right now, and you just go one by one, just, you know, liquid staking, hostage. Great. So guys, really thank you for taking the time. It was really informative. I think that I've learned the most out of any call that I've had, because this is completely new to me. So definitely learned a lot. Thank you for that. If you have, there'll be follow-up questions in the community, try to answer them. And we hope to see the DAO proposal very soon.
Great. Thank you so much, guys.
All right,
Appreciate it.
guys. All the
Bye,
best.
guys.